Hey y'all, it's Michelle and welcome to Beauty by Michelle. It's the holiday season and no matter whether it's Christmas or New Year's, I've got you covered with this makeup look. This makeup look is a combination of a smoky sort of eye with a little bit of a cut crease with neutral colors. I've got a brown shade and a white shade kind of blended in together, and I also have a pop of red lip. Stick around to recreate this look with me. We're going to start off by hydrating our face, and I'm going to be using the Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream by Fresh. Now this moisturizer is actually pretty powerful because it kind of does like 2-in-1. It kind of acts both like hydrating the surface of your skin and hydrating right underneath it too. So it's literally an all-in-one moisturizer, and it even smells like you have roses on your face. Next, we're using the e.l.f. Moisture Lock Primer, and this is great for any type of skin. And I'm going to be blending it out using the Real Techniques buffing brush. Before we actually get into the actual eyebrows, we're going to conceal them, and we're going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is the shade Light Medium Sand, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it. We're going to use the Expert Face Brush by Real Techniques to blend it out. You'll notice that I actually blended the concealer out into the lid of my eye, and that's what I'm going to do on the other side as well. Now that we've blended the concealer all over our eyes and our eyebrows, we're also going to blend some concealer out underneath our eyes. I'm going to go back in with the same concealer. Now I know all of us use different products to apply our makeup, so if you're not as comfortable with the brush, you can absolutely use a beauty blender instead, and it will literally do the exact same job. The eyebrow pencil I'm using for today is this one. It's actually the Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim Pencil, and this is the shade Black Brown. It has two ends on it. There's one end that has the actual pencil and the other end that has the comb that we're gonna be using to comb everything out at the end. This eyebrow pencil is retractable, and what we're going to do is start off by actually creating a line right underneath our eyebrow to add that perfection. I'm using a very light hand to do this, so I'm applying a little bit of pressure and lifting my pencil so that the line isn't too harsh. Because what I'm going to do is going to go back in and use the other end of this pencil, the comb, and I'm just going to comb this upwards, and it's literally going to blend right into my eyebrow. If you use too much pressure, it's going to end up looking like a harsh line, so make sure you have a very light and lifted hand. Now I'm going to work on the top of my eyebrow, and I like to perfect the little corners right here so that I have a nice little arch, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in any spaces I need. It's time to set the concealer that we have on our face, and to do this I'm going to use the Real Techniques brush called the setting brush, and I'm using the Laura Mercier finishing powder in translucent. If you don't have this one, it's no problem. Just go ahead and use any finishing powder that you have. Dab it right on, that way I'm not swiping and removing any product, just setting that concealer. We're going to be using 3 eyeshadows today, and they're going to be from the Subculture palette. So I'm going to use shades Fudge and Adorn. So this is Fudge and this is Adorn. And in addition to that, I'm also using a single color by ColourPop. It's called Fine Pearl. It's going to give us a really nice sheen look at the end. We're starting off with the color Fudge in the Subculture palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm applying Fudge with the Essential Crease Brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going to apply it in a U shape and also a V shape. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye and be right back. As you can see, the color isn't really blended yet. We're gonna go ahead and do that now, but I just wanted you guys to see what it would look like once you have all the color applied, and you just wanna make sure that you're able to pack on the eyeshadow, that way you have more pigment. I'm using the base shadow brush by Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this brown out. I'm not gonna use another color to do it, so this is just a nice clean brush, and I'm just gonna sweep in circle motions and blend it all out. You want to make sure that you're blending it out so that it looks like it's a dark to light shade, even though it's the exact same eyeshadow. So once you start blending out on the top, it's going to look like the dark brown went to a light brown, even though it's the same color. It's a little trick so you don't have to use extra eyeshadow. I'm using the Morphe brush. It's a concealer brush. It's nice and flat and dense. So if you have a brush that looks like this, that'll work just fine. And I'm going to be using the same concealer that we used before, the Tarte one, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the crease in my eyes. I'm going back in with the Laura Mercier finishing powder, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tap off this concealer. Now that we set our concealer, I'm gonna go back in with the color Fudge and just darken the ends. This is the shading brush by Real Techniques that I'm going to be using to apply the color Adorn. It's in the same palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm going to just go in and dab it right next to where we have that darkest brown. Lastly, we're using Fine Pearl by ColourPop to fill in the corners of our eyes. Now this shade is a pretty pale gold, and what I did was apply it to the corners of my eye, but I'm going to take some and actually put it right on top of where we have the other color, this gold color right here called Adorn. So what it's going to do is blend into that gold color by just dabbing it on a little bit on the gold side, and it's going to create this blended look because I'm putting this lighter pale gold on top of that warm bronzy gold, and it's just going to give it like a little color pop. Literally called color pop, no pun intended, but it's going to create this little sheen look, and you'll see that pop of warm gold peeking out of it. Lastly, I'm taking the Essential Crease Brush back again. It still has that brown shadow on it, the darkest brown, and all I'm going to do is sweep it into the gold. That way it's nice and blended. I'm just going to take a clean brush and just sweep so that I can remove some of this fallout. I'm using the LA Pro Girl Concealer. It's in Peach, and I'm just going to apply it towards some of the trouble areas that I have, just a little bit, couple little spots of acne that I have, a little birthmark, and just right underneath my eye. That way I have some good color correcting going on there as well for any dark areas on your face. I'm blending that out with the buffing brush by Real Techniques. I'm trying out a new foundation for myself. I've used this formula before, but this color is new for me. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. It's dewy and smooth, and this is the color 220 in Natural Beige. I'm gonna apply it with the same brush that I just used to blend out the concealer. This, once again, is the buffing brush by Real Techniques. I love this foundation. I've used it before and I've used it on clients because it works with like all skin types, and it's really good and very inexpensive. So if you're looking for a quick fix, best foundation for the best price, trust me, go with the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. But I am just gonna go ahead and set this a little bit because I just don't wanna wait for it, and I wanna show you guys the next steps. But it is definitely more dewy than I personally like, so that's why I'm setting it. But if you like a very dewy look, this is perfect the way it is. But again, you can always tone it down by using either finishing powder, or once you apply a bronzer or a blush, it will also mattify it a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a little bit of finishing powder. So now I've totally fixed it. It's still dewy, but not over the top. And you'll notice I didn't actually mattify this area. I kind of left it more dewy because I do like a more dewy cheek lifted look. The bronzer I'm going to be applying is called Laguna by NARS. I'm using the contour brush by Real Techniques to do the job. I'm using my favorite blush of all time. It's by Cover FX and it's called Spice Cinnamon. I'm going to be using this darker shade, and what I like about this one is that it literally stays on all day, and that is like almost impossible to find in a blush. So I really like this blush for that reason specifically, and the color is perfect. I'm using the contour brush by Real Techniques, and I'm just going to apply it on the apples of my cheek. This highlighter is called Blissful and it's by Ofra. I'm going to use the Essential Crease Brush to blend it out. I'm also going to be applying this highlighter in my brow bone, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'm also going to apply it a little bit towards the corner of my eyebrow. Lastly, I'm also going to apply this highlighter on my nose. Before we get onto the lips, I'm going to be applying some lashes, and the ones I'm going to use today are my own brand. You can find them at www.beautybymichelle.com, but these are my lashes. They are number 2, which is Flirtatious. Now that I have the lashes on, I'm going to go ahead and use the Maybelline Rocket Volume Mascara to darken the lashes and blend in my own lashes with the falsies, and also use this NYX eyeliner. It's the black one, it's waterproof, and it's amazing. I find that applying the eyeliner on top of the lashes actually gives a much cleaner look. I'm using the NYX Jumbo White Eyeliner in my waterline. You can do whatever you prefer, but honestly, I think the white one really opens up your eyes. If you have small eyes, this is a great way for your eyes to look bigger. I already kind of have round eyes, but I did white because I think it looks really pretty with this look. I normally prefer using black eyeliner because my eyes are already big and I like them to look a little bit more almond shape, but this actually looks perfect with this look, and you'll see that in just a moment when we put our lip on. I'm lining my lips with the Sephora lip liner. This is number 11 and it's Cherry. The color I'm going in with is by Fenty Beauty. This is shade Uncensored, and I love this one. I even used it on my wedding. I think it's perfect. It is definitely a very bright red, so you know, it's preference, but I like a little pop of color, especially for the holidays. Lastly, I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Sweet Mouth Lip Gloss, and it's just going to give you a little nice sheen for this lip color. As always, like, comment, and subscribe.